Welcome to the SDM Foundation's 2024 Annual Report. My name is Kristen Thorpe, and I'm the Executive Director of the SDM Foundation. For those of you less familiar with SDM, we're a nonprofit organization in Melrose, Massachusetts, and we focus on teaching people how to use technology to enhance their lives. We opened our doors in July of 2016, so we're going on 9 years now. Our services are free. Our staff is patient and knowledgeable. And if you haven't made an appointment before, please feel free to. We've had a fantastic year this year, and we are happy to be able to tell you about it. We're going to go over some of the highs and some of the lows. Definitely a high is our clients. And as you can see here from a few of their testimonials, they have wonderful things to say about us. It is a very feel-good job. People are so appreciative. It's incredible how much you change people's lives. You are such a treasure for our community. Your tenacity in completing the job was impressive. Those are just a few of the things that our clients have said to us. It's really amazing how happy they make us feel, and clearly how happy we make them feel. There are not a lot of places, maybe not any other places, quite like this. And people feel very fortunate that they're able to use our services for free. They can come and talk to someone in a very respectful, understanding, patient manner and ask their questions or explain their problems. Our shop is a very comfortable location in downtown Melrose with plenty of parking in the area, and we're on a MBTA bus line. It's really a special place with lots of light and space, and we enjoy it very much. And we also meet people on Zoom who choose not to come in. So we're happy to be able to report on how we're doing this year. And here we go. 2024 by the numbers. We had over 900 people come in for appointments. Those are 900 different people. They might have come in just one time this year or over 100 times in the course of 2024. Some of them were new, and others have been coming since we opened almost 9 years ago. 900 is a lot of people. We really are constrained mostly by the amount of staff time that we have. Staffing is obviously our largest expense, as it should be. Our staff is paid. We feel strongly that this is another way that we support the community by giving jobs to people to do this work. One of the limitations to the number of appointments we can have is how many appointment slots we have. So some of these numbers sort of go together. We had 4,000 appointments and drop-ins. We do not manage to count every single person. Sometimes people who drop in don't get recorded. 70% of our available hours are filled. That's a very high number too. We would never expect 100% of our available hours to be filled. Available hours do not include lunch or time off or time that we've set aside for content creation, administrative tasks, additional training. Available hours are only the appointment slots that we allow, and 70% of those are filled, and the client shows up for the appointment. So 70% of the available hours filled is a lot. We do get late cancellations and no-shows for reasons that you would expect: illness, bad weather, scheduling conflicts, especially with older clients. But those late cancellations and no-shows do generally end up in empty appointment slots. And that's one of the reasons that this could never be 100. 100% would assume that every appointment on every day was booked and every single person who made an appointment showed up for it, and that clearly does not happen. We also don't want or expect our staff to sit at appointments every single hour of every day. We have 6 appointment slots in each day at 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, and 3. We generally would expect each staff member to be working on appointments during 5 and sometimes 6 of those slots, but it's very hard work to do, and it would be very difficult for any staff member to meet with 6 different people on 6 different topics in the course of one day. And to be able to maintain the energy and patience that is needed for this job would be very tough under those circumstances. In terms of our top topics, we have listed websites, phones, and email. I'm sure you can see that these are not all discrete topics. Websites can be both using them and creating them. A phone issue might also be about email, etc., etc. This list could include thousands of topics, including passwords, online banking, artificial intelligence. It really is endless. If we don't know it, we will learn it with you. When we talk to people about what we do and we try to give them some idea of the topics we cover, you could talk for an hour and not cover them all. It's pretty amazing how many kinds of things we help people with. A few more numbers. Our website growth has been amazing this year. We are excited that so many people have come to our website to find out about our lessons, to get directions, to view our blog posts and our curated information. People check out who our staff are and what we look like, where to park, what bus to take. It really is reassuring that what we are doing is being found by more people all the time. And often those people are at more of a distance than has happened in the past. So we're very, very excited about our website growth. It is one of our goals for this year, and we are quite happy with the way that it has panned out. As you can see, we've had over 40,000 page views. And our Facebook page, our Facebook group, and our Instagram followers have all grown very comfortably. We're very happy about this. Our strengths. Our biggest strengths are our staff and our reputation. Our staff are well known and they are known as experts in their field. Many of our staff members participate in many other organizations and nonprofits across the city. They guide people to SDM when the task is one that falls within our purview and can be provided free. So new people from all backgrounds with all kinds of problems come to know us in this way. We're known as being available and willing to help in any way we can. Every one of us is continuing to learn all the time. Our new admin staff member has been just fantastic, and she's learning so fast, I can hardly believe it. We just want to keep growing our reputation and keep developing our staff in all the topic areas that they're interested in. We do a lot of cross-training within the organization. We help each other all the time, and that's one of our strengths. We continue to grow by word of mouth, and that tells us a lot. When people refer their friends and family to us, that's really the highest compliment. Challenges. As we've touched on very briefly, funding is a challenge. Our donations have grown, for which we are very grateful. Our clients who can afford to make donations are very happy that they can do that and thus help provide this service to more people. It has been very important to the board of directors at the SDM Foundation since the very beginning that we maintain our free lessons and appointments for as long as we can. We think that by providing lessons for free, we're reaching people who would not be able to access our services if we charged even small fees. We know this because of many of the topics that we're helping these people with. Many of our clients are looking for jobs. Some of them need help filling out online forms for benefits of various kinds. Many of them are new immigrants, and many are new to English. Some of them have never had a computer. These tend to be people that would not be able to access these services if we charged for them. The other side of that is, of course, that our endowment is not large enough to fund this work forever at the level that we provide it. I really don't know any endowment that could be. This is something that we are very conscious of. We're not in any danger of running out of money in the next several years, but we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a position where we will be here for many, many years to come. Some of the other areas that we need to focus on are ways to best utilize our staff across all of our needs. As we discussed, we can't just keep adding staff. The cost of that would be prohibitive. And we are utilizing our space pretty close to capacity too. Appointments are and lessons are just one need. Creating blog post content, video content, our drop-in time at the Milano Center, staff education. All of those are areas of focus. And we really need to figure out how best to do that and what we need to do. We want to expand our small business support in a way that doesn't overwhelm our staff. It's very, very important to us. Not everyone is equally able to teach small business members about social media and website growth and things like that, because not everybody equally knows the topic area or has practical business experience. So we need to make sure that we're not taking on more than our staff can support. We're exploring the possibility of charging for our summer lessons or perhaps finding a sponsor to help with the funding. We consider those to be part of our mission, but they are a little more tangential to our core mission of helping non-technical people use technology. Non-technical people, we generally mean more adults, older people. If we decide to charge for any services, we think that charging a nominal fee for student lessons would be the first place to explore. We also have trouble with no-shows and late cancellations in our summer lessons. I sometimes think that when you provide something for free, people don't value it as much when they're deciding whether to take a beach day or not. So charging something for these lessons might help people recognize the cost associated with them. And we're going to pursue other funding in the form of grants. We've already talked about that, but that's another area of focus for our funding and our opportunities. These are much more exciting. One way to utilize staff more effectively is to bring back and encourage more small groups as opposed to all individual appointments. Small group lessons have traditionally not been our most successful way to teach early computer users. So this time around, we're trying new ideas for stretching our staffing hours with some group activities. We've just recently started our drop-in time at the Milano Center, and that has been very well received. This is a location where people already are, who are the kind of people that we often help. Providing them with an opportunity to ask for help in a location where they already are has been a very good synergistic relationship. If they have a problem that can't be resolved in 10 or 15 minutes, we're able to make an appointment for them at SDM for another time. We're really trying to get our shop talks back up and going. These are small group discussions, a short presentation followed by conversation. We know we need to get to a certain level of attendance before the conversation is at the level of what we're looking for. So that's an opportunity, and we're really looking at getting the right topics and figuring out how to get the word out. We want to expand our basic computer lessons. People who come in and say, I don't know how to use a computer. We need to start at the beginning. We'd like to do a little bit more in terms of having short videos and printed materials, which could also be available online, so that we could help more people with that very early learning, finding their way around. Having printed materials and videos would allow us to stretch our staff a little more for those kinds of lessons. We are expanding some of the roles of our current staff. We have 8 employees, and we want to make sure that every employee feels like they're valued and that they have a role that they understand and that they can grow as they learn at SDM. Training each other and sitting in on appointments is a good example of how we help staff learn new skills. We hired an administrative person in the last several months, and that has been fantastic. It freed up people's time to do more of the content creation and the actual teaching. So that's very tied into wanting to create more video content and have that available for people and the pursuit of grants. We hope to grow across all of our online channels in 2025, as we did in 2024. So 2025, looking ahead, is a summary of the most important actions that we're taking. We're going to create more short videos of the kind you see on Facebook and Instagram. These will be very, very focused lessons like how to check the storage on your phone, or how to change a particular setting, how to add an email account. Very, very close knit information. We're going to work very hard to grow our small group in person lessons. We find that for the right topic, these can be very, very useful. We've really worked on this on and off over 8 years, and it's tough to get people to come out consistently. But we have some new ideas of things that we're going to implement this year. Instagram is a growing piece for us, and when we get the additional video content, we expect that our Instagram followers will grow as well. Our small business group and the support materials that we have on Facebook have been very useful for many people. But it is an area that we think has a lot of room for growth, and we hope to really move that along in 2025. And as we've talked about before, we are constrained financially, and we need to augment Mr. McIntosh's initial bequest. One of the ways that we're going to do that is by applying for grants. Grants are really tough to get. There are many organizations trying to get them, and we are a very unique organization, so it's not always easy to show exactly what we do in a way that fits into a grant application. So we're working very hard to do that and more often, and that's something that we're working on this year. So if you haven't come down before, please make an appointment and come now. We always say that everyone needs help now and then. No question is too easy. Give us a try. Thank you. Hi, I'm Kristen Thorpe, the Executive Director at SDM, and we had a little bit of extra time after we did our annual report video, and I thought I might just talk to you about a couple of the items in it in more detail. So the first one I wanted to cover was the grants. We're working very hard to apply for quality grants. A quality grant would be one that we have a pretty good match for. There are several characteristics to grants that you need to look at when you're choosing a grant to apply for. They have geographical areas that they focus on. They have topics that they focus on. Sometimes a grant is very specific, and other times each year they pick a topic of interest to them. It's got to be covering items that you need covered. Many grants want to be available for new programs. Many fewer grants want to cover operating expenses that you already have. So as we think of new programs to add, they have to be programs that we can handle with the staff that we have and the space that we have. So we might say, as a new program, we want to add a series of lessons and online materials for very beginners, the really, new to computers people. That is a new program in the sense that we do not have that specific program right now, but it's not a new topic area for us. We certainly help people with that kind of information all the time. But in order to do more teaching in small groups, we need to develop different materials for that. Maybe more interactive materials, more online for beginners who aren't really online. Maybe they would come here and we would get them online in order to then work with those materials. AARP has a couple of grants that are available. Their focus is on older people, 50 plus. One of the grants that we've applied for in the past and didn't get and will apply for again is a grant that is available where the director of the nonprofit is 50 plus, which I am. And So some of these, you have to look at the kinds of information that we track, because a grant would want you to give quality statistics measurements of how effective the grant is. And so we need to look at what we keep track of. We do not ask the age of our clientele. We don't ask for their physical addresses. So while we know anecdotally how old many of our clients are, we know, in age ranges, whether they're 30 or 80. Um, and we know roughly where many of them are coming from. Those are not statistics that we track. We do track the appointments that people make. And so your name would be on appointments, and we would know how many times you came. We'd have a little bit of a sense of what the appointments were about because in order to assign staff to appointments, we list something about what the topic is about. Problems with email, computer basics, website, things like that. But we don't keep track of details. We don't keep track of what you do each time. That is not something that we would have. So all of those things go into choosing the grant. So we're currently working on 3 grant proposals. The time that is required to write the answers to the questions on the application may range from 30 to 80 hours for different staff members. I would say if you printed out the form, many of these grant applications would be 10 pages long. There are questions about what you do now. There are questions about what you want to do in the future. There are budget questions. And with each grant, you have to tailor the program that you're applying for to to what they're looking for. And so it requires you to have some general information about SDM and what we do and what we've done in the past. And then you tailor that. And then also you have to have very specific ideas about, for this project, what would you be doing? What would the budget be? How many man hours would it be? And so each application, well, the more applications we do, the more of these pieces we can reuse and adapt in different ways. We're still getting to the place where we're building these pieces, and so it's still a rather time consuming project for us. But it's very interesting. It could lead to some exciting new projects that we might not have the staffing for right now without the budgetary help. But we also have to keep track of the fact that when you get a grant for a project, it is for that project, and you do need to apply it to that project. And any anything that you already are doing, the appointments that we already do, the drop-in times, those are not going to be covered by the grant, because the grant in most cases applies to the new program. So you have to be very cognizant of not um, creating more work that you then can't support, because you're because the requirements of it are beyond what your daily workload um, allows. So that's a little bit more detail about looking for grants. If anybody knows of grants or is a grant writer or would like to talk more about it, please give us a call, and we would be happy to talk to you about grants. Thank you. Hi. The other area I thought I might talk about for a few minutes is our work with the community. Um, we are deeply embedded in the greater Melrose community. We we have people that come from the South Shore. We have people that have come from Framingham. We have Zoomed with people in North Carolina. So we do work with people in a very large area. But I really have to say that the majority of the people, particularly who come into the shop, um, come from as far south as Boston, um, uh, Wakefield, Stoneham, Saugus, Malden, Melrose, Medford, Arlington, Watertown. We really cover quite a large geographical area, and in addition to that, we work very closely with so many organizations. We have um, worked with multiple mass hire offices. We send them our brochures. We've talked to their counselors. They refer people to us to get some remedial computer um, training in order to find jobs. The Immigrant Learning Center in Malden sends people our way very regularly. Every senior center in the surrounding 10 communities sends people to us, as well as the libraries. Whether it's someone who needs to scan a document and upload it to a website, or create a resume um, from scratch, or um, apply for entry to Canada, or get the tickets to the concert on their phone. Um, the libraries and senior centers in the area help as many people as they can, but they just do not have the staff to help everyone who comes there. And their ability to send people to us and have us be very accessible in downtown Melrose has been very helpful to them. We work with the schools, we work with the bridge. We're members of the Chamber of Commerce. We have helped many of the local small businesses and nonprofits build or learn to maintain their websites, or how to do social media. We have recently, both last year and recently, signed up to do it again. We had a group from Tufts in Boston who has a collaborative of elderly people and high school kids, and they wanted us to teach an online lesson about security and privacy. We absolutely signed up to do it. We have taught lessons at Parent University, at PTOs, grandparents raising grandchildren. If it is a topic in our wheelhouse, if it is something that we can either record or do during our normal business hours, particularly if we can do it remotely via Zoom or Google Meets or Teams. We are happy to talk to any organization about ways that we can work with them. And finally, I'd like to suggest that people get on our newsletter or watch our Facebook page for an upcoming announcement about a program we're going to do in June in conjunction with the Mystic Valley Elder Services. That is a learning how to use an iPad, and if you take all the lessons, you'll get the iPad in the end. So check us out, and we'll tell you more about that later. Thank you.